Welcome, Joslyn Variety Show fans. I'm Jack Newby. I'm the Executive Director here at the Joslyn Center. You may hear in the background, I just heard that the gardeners are here, so that they're using their blowers. So you may hear that in the background, and I apologize for that. A lot going on here at the Joslyn Center right now, and we just want to keep you updated. We are in the process of reopening and developing a reopening plan. The first part of that plan is our Back to Joslyn event, and that is on June 2nd. That's Wednesday, June 2nd. And you would need to sign up for that because we're going to have to limit the capacity in the building based on our conversations with the Riverside County Department of Public Health. We will have the opportunity there for you to renew or sign up for your membership. Also, find out about some classes and meet some of the instructors we'll have coming up, and classes will be starting the following week and probably going to our not full scheduled classes, but our classes that we'll be holding throughout the summer starting after June 15th. So we are in a phased reopening plan. As you enter the center during this time, you will be asked to wear a mask. You'll be asked to sign in and provide contact information in case we need to get in touch with you for any reason. And you'll be asked to sign up for a class because, as I mentioned, the classes will be limited in size, probably throughout the summer. And that's, again, based on the recommendations of the Riverside County Department of Public Health. So a lot going on. A lot of your favorite classes and activities will be coming back. We're working on bringing in exercise classes, craft classes. You'll be able to join back in with the strummers, our ukulele strummers group, a guitar group, dance classes. So a lot going on to keep you busy this summer. But we do want you to know it is going to be a phased reopening plan throughout the summer, and hopefully as we approach the fall, we'll be in full swing. Also on the 2nd, if you have not received your vaccine or you're looking for your second vaccine for either Pfizer or Moderna, we're going to have a vaccine clinic here with Eisenhower. So Eisenhower Health will be providing the vaccines. And the June 2nd opening, Back to Joslyn event, is sponsored by our good friends at Desert Oasis Healthcare. So a lot to learn, a lot to find out about, and to hear about as we move toward finally reopening. And it will be almost 18 months since we had to close. So we're all looking forward to welcoming you back. This morning, it's our interview show, and I've seen him in action and been used as a dummy, if you will, in some of the demonstrations. And this is for senior self-defense. And as we're getting back out into the community and out into the public, unfortunately, there are those that may be wanting to take advantage of us or pickpocket or whatever may happen to you. And Andy Sheldon, who is going to be doing a Zoom class on self-defense on May 25th at 11 o'clock, he's going to be doing that class. And then we hope to have him live here at the Joslyn Center in June, because he's going to be doing a series of these self-defense classes for seniors. And he's been doing it for a number of years. So I'd like to introduce Andy. Andy, why don't you come and join us here? And
good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Yes.
So this is, self-defense for seniors. A lot of times we don't think about that. We think seniors are very vulnerable to crime out on the streets or even in their homes, and certainly scams and that sort of thing. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been doing this, and then we'll talk in some detail about the classes that you offer.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, folks. Nice to speak to you. This morning, we already had one Zoom class, we're doing another. And my background goes back into the 70s when all of us were young. I started in security uh, in Los Angeles and went to LEPD Police Explorer Academy. I was an explorer with the police department. And then I went into all kinds of different security aspects, working Universal Studios, banks, personal protection. And then I moved here, coming to the desert since the late 70s, but moved here full time in 1985. I went to the Sheriff's Academy in 1982, 6 months living there in Riverside, and went full time at the Palm Springs Airport, International Airport now, in 1985. And I retired in 2016. So 31 years. I was a police officer there. And then I moved into operations for the city. We ran the airport 24/7 for the city. I had a great experience there. I loved working for all the people there and working for the city. And continued through that time to do private events and personal protection and things like that. And now that I retired, I'm working back into personal protection and some private events and security stuff as well in the valley here and outside Southern California.
So most of us, as we grow older, we really don't think that we have a lot of options for self-defense if someone is attacking us. Tell us a little bit about self-defense for seniors and older adults and some of the techniques that can be used.
My background, like I said, is all kinds of security classes and police classes, and judo and wrestling is my forte because I'm a big person. But I always gravitated toward helping other people. And one way is to offer these classes. I've been doing them since the late 80s in the valley here. I also worked for Desert Oasis Healthcare for many years at both sites they had here, offering free classes. Some of you might know me from those locations. Worked Mizell Senior Center, Desert Hot Springs, and Indio Senior Centers, as well as different mobile home parks and other private locations for classes for people. And what's going on, unfortunately, it's not getting better. The situation is worse. Two elderly people, ladies in San Francisco, were just recently attacked by a knife-wielding man. Both were stabbed critically. One was critically, the knife stuck in her when they had to remove it out of her lung. Attempted murder on both. They didn't know the man. He came up to them. They were just finishing shopping a couple days ago in San Francisco. It's a terrible thing. I'm not saying I'm going to be able to help you prevent everything, but going to make you more aware and give you options and alternatives to becoming a victim. So you want to, the number one thing is, Jack and I discussed before, avoiding problems, forecasting situations and locations, and viewing things. If it's not safe, don't go. If you have a bad feeling, you don't go. We go into all kinds of discussions and demonstrations and examples of things that have happened, that could happen. And every class is different. We do a little review. We talk about working with you individually and then talking about what you can do physically, but mentally is the most important thing, and then comes physical. And being a senior, we have a limited amount of time to make a major statement, a major impact on anything that's happening, usually under a minute, that you have to react, respond, and take charge, and then flee or get away. So that's all you have, less than a minute, because you don't have the energy, you don't have the breathing, you don't have the adrenaline. And we'll go over all this, and I'll answer questions, and we'll go into, I want to hear about your personal experiences and your questions that you bring up. It's very important that we have interaction, dialogue. And then the more people that show up, especially the class in June, in person, and that we have a lot of energy, you don't have to do everything. You can watch and observe and ask questions and participate from your chair. or do whatever you feel you can do. I've had people in the 90s take the class. I've had people in their teens, and it's an exciting, it's interesting, it's fun. Nobody gets hurt, especially the instructor. But we go over different things that affect people in your home, in your vehicle, out in public, when you're walking, or taking exercise. We discuss all these different topics, and I show you things. I give you choices. I show you different things that you can use for self-defense. It's safety and self-defense. And I'm doing it because I want nobody to get hurt. And I'd like to see that if anything did happen, you make the difference, and you make the choices to either submit or resist, and flee or stop the attack, and then flee. It's all up to you. How you respond is all up to you. I'm going to give you choices. I'm going to give you alternatives. We'll discuss it. I'll show it, and it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun in the class.
I would imagine a lot of it starts just with the way a person may be walking down the street, whether they're aware of their surroundings, aware of who's around them, the way they carry themselves. Is that a part of all the self-defense?
Absolutely, absolutely. But going back to the 60s and 70s, and when we were younger, when we knew things, when things were different, and we weren't controlled by all these electronics and there's all these other distractions. Cell phones are wonderful, but they can't be around on your ear. They can't be plugged into you when you're walking or exercising, when you're alone, because now you're distracted. And like when you're distracted driving, you can't use a cell phone unless it's hooked up to the car. So that's the same thing we're talking about when you're walking or exercising, or you're just going from one place to another place. You're totally focused to the phone. And that's the problem, because now you're not aware, you're not involved in what's going on around you. And that could lead to a problem. And also another thing we talk about, Jack, is the how you come off. If you come off drooped over and looking at the ground and no eye contact and looking timid and shy and afraid, you give off that vibe, you give off that appearance. And there are people that will try to take advantage of you. When you come off, even at somebody in the 60s or 70s or 80s or even older, you come off solid, strong, and determined. You will have no problems. Sorry. You will have less problems, and people will look at you differently. That you might be someone who can resist and maybe even overcome them. That's very important. It's in law enforcement terms, in security, it's how you command presence, how you carry yourself, how you talk, how you react, how you look at somebody. You make eye contact. You don't have to make a conversation. You make eye contact. You do a lot of talking with your hands, because that is one of the few things that you have on your body at all times that you can use to protect yourself and attack somebody. So we'll go over all this in the class, and you get to use me and see how things feel and how you can actually do it. And everything requires practice at home. We even go into, like we did in the first class, a few minutes on how to use a cane. If some of you have a cane that you walk with on a regular basis, or you use for exercise, it's a wonderful tool, but it can be used against you. Somebody can use it to hurt you. And you need to know how to protect your cane, your walking cane, or your actual cane, how to use it and when to use it, and you can exercise with it. We'll go over that in another class as well.
What role does exercise and physical fitness play in safety and self-defense for an older person?
It's very exciting. It's the classes you offer at Jocelyn are very exciting, because anything that you do to move your body helps you in these kind of situations. Better exercise, better health is the key. When you do meditation, when you do yoga, stretching, Tai Chi, you do seat exercises, you do swimming, walking, or bicycling, even light weights. All these things, and the balance class that you offer on an occasion, very important. Balance is key to surviving. You never want to get on the ground. You never want to be pushed or shoved or thrown on the ground. And you need to know how to recover quickly, get back up, and protect yourself. So all these classes interact into security and safety for yourself. And it's people don't look at it that way. When you do weightlifting and stretching, your body is ready and available, and it can accept a compromise or an emergency, because you've already trained how to do Tai Chi or do Aikido or some kind of a martial arts maybe. But when you do these other classes, even chair exercises are phenomenal. They teach you how to use your body and to fight off an assault, and also help you with your how you look and appear, and how you breathe and how you walk, and that you don't lose your energy within that you need that minute. You need up to a minute to overcome a situation.
So a lot of people may be surprised by this topic, that seniors should learn self-defense rather than, scream or turn tail and run from something that they see that's happening. And I would imagine that even getting over that initial impression we have of ourselves as maybe being, not able to fight off an attack is one of the things you cover in your class.
Absolutely. Living in a gated community, walking or exercising or doing things during the daytime, or living in the Coachella Valley does not protect you from bad people, from bad situations. They're here, they come and go, they live here as well. So they look at their needs, and their actions are priority. And when they see an opening, when they have an urge, some of them take advantage of it. So you never know where or when something can happen. And you need to know how to take care of yourself, and as well as your family and friends. These are things you can share with them and practice with them. And when you practice at home, these techniques that you learn in the class or online, very important. This is street self-defense. Things that you see on TV and the movies and TV shows are not necessarily true. When you always hear the cocking of a gun, that's ridiculous. This is 2021. Most guns are already ready to go. There are some guns that you never have to cock. You rounded the chamber and it's ready to shoot. So they do that for dramatics. That's been going on since the 1960s to make it appear that it's something major going on. The gun is ready to go in most cases. You don't need to hear cocking the hammer. That's ridiculous. And it's shooting out the tires of a vehicle. Doesn't happen in real life. A moving vehicle with rubber tires moving in another direction is very hard to shoot, as well as blowing up a car. That doesn't happen. The likelihood of you stopping a car is when you hit the radiator and it runs out of fluid. But you can shoot through a car. That's another thing we'll talk about in the class. Where you can be protected, where police officers learn how to wear around a vehicle that you can be protected from gunfire. It's not inside the vehicle because the doors are thin, and that's just the way they're built. They're getting lighter and lighter as we go on, and as well as your house. Bullets can penetrate homes, so you have to be careful. We'll talk about safe rooms and in people's homes, how to set one up in your house at a very discounted way, so you don't have to spend a lot of money into a huge safe room. But someplace that if something happens, a burglar or somebody tries to come into your home, that you can retreat to and protect yourself until the police get there. That's another thing. Security and police are wonderful and terrific, but they're not going to be there when you need them most of the time. Things are going to be happening before they get there.
So it sounds like there's a lot to learn in the class, not only physical self-defense, but how to react if you're around a mass shooting incident, or if someone, we hear about these home break-ins, and it happens a lot with seniors now. So it sounds like there's a lot to learn in your class. So I just want to encourage our listeners and our viewers to check out our Zoom class on May 25th at 11 o'clock. And Andy will show you some more techniques about self-defense. And then starting in June, we'll have Andy here in person, so you can learn some more information about self-defense, which is a really important subject, again, as we begin coming out of this year and a half of isolation that we've been in. And one thing that I've noticed, and I think it's important, and you talked about exercise, is we haven't been able to exercise as much as we may be accustomed to. So a lot of us need to build up that our muscles and our ability to react to a situation. So I think, you know, tying exercise into self-defense is a really good lesson for people to learn.
And one more thing I just want to mention, the class is not a one-way street. I learn from you, your experiences, when you bring questions to and we have a conversation and other people get involved. It's a group learning experience. So everything that's happened to you in your life, we want to hear the things that are related to safety and security, and that can help the class, the other people in the class, and myself. I learn from others as well as you learn from me.
Well, Andy Sheldon, I want to thank you for joining us today. To our viewers, I hope you have a great weekend, and you too, Andy, have a great weekend. We will see you at the class later this month. And also invite you all to tune in on our next Joslyn Variety Show, Mindful Mondays. So Monday at 11 a.m. And we'll be having a session on meditation at that time. So something else new to learn, and that's another class that we'll be bringing to the Joslyn Center, is meditation and mindfulness. So again, thank you, Andy. Have a great weekend. And to all of our viewers and listeners, thank you also for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.